Hey Grovers, welcome to another video. Thank you so much for joining me. If you are watching this video, it's because you are already an insider. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I am so happy to have you on board and cannot wait to see what you do with these tools. Now, we're going to go over the tools that are mentioned in the Edit Tools cheat sheet. I just want you to see where these tools are in Lightroom and Photoshop so that you can recognize which tools I'm talking about, because these may be tools that you use already or they may be new ones that you haven't yet explored. Let's dive right in. Now, I'm not going to talk about what each of these tools does or explain how to use it. I'm simply going to go over the shortcuts. There are plenty of videos to talk about what each of these tools does, and there's going to be a lot more of that coming from the Grove. But for now, let's just focus on the shortcuts. We're going to start with Lightroom, and we're going to start in the library module. Now I want to talk about the ways that you organize your photos. The main tools that you can use are the flags, the star ratings, and the color labels. So to set a flag, you simply press the letter P. So let's say we're going to select this one, we want to flag it, press P. It says flag as pick, and this little white flag on the top left corner turns white. And you'll see that once you click away, the border of the photo itself actually also turns white. So let's say we want to flag this one as well. We press P again. Same thing, flag is pick, and then the white flag, the flag turns white to tell you it's been flagged. So now if we go up here to the attributes and we select flag and we click on that, it will only show us the photos that are flagged. This is why it's so fantastic as a tool for organizing your photos, right? So let's click it to unselect that. Another tool is the star rating, 1 through 5. And you simply press the numbers 1 through 5. So however many stars you want to give it, that's the number you press. If I want to give it 2 stars, I press the number 2. I want to give it 5 stars, I press the number 5. So let's say, for example, I want to make this photo 5 stars. I press the number 5, and you'll see that 5 stars turn black right underneath the photo there. Let's say now that this photo that I just flagged, I want to mark it 5 stars as well because it's going straight to the clients. So I'm going to mark it with the number 5, says set rating to 5, and the 5 stars turn black right there. The final thing that I want to show you as far as the library module in Lightroom goes is how to do the color coding. Now, color coding you can do pressing the numbers 6 through 9. So it would be 6, 7, 8, 9. 6 for red, 7 for yellow, 8 for green, 9 for blue. Now, there are other options here, but I stick to 6 through 9 because it's just the easiest for me to be able to quickly use the shortcut keys to be able to color code them. So let's say this photo right here, I want to label it yellow. Yellow is 7, so I press 7, says set label to yellow, and you'll see that the edge of the photo is yellow and there's a little yellow box. When I click away from the photo, that whole outside area is also yellow. So it's really easy to see the color ratings. Now again, when you want to sort through your photos after you've done your selections, you can set the star rating, the flag, and even the color code if you want. So up here, it would only show me photos that are flagged, rated 5 stars, and color coded yellow. That's why it's so helpful. You can make it as specific as you want and have different layers of coding and organizing for your images. So let's pop over to the Develop module. In the Develop module, I basically want to talk to you about these tools up here, which are the ones that we use probably most often when doing all sorts of adjustments. So let's see, let's pop over to, I'm going to select a different photo for us. Yeah, we'll do one of these. Let's do this one. and this is just for demonstration anyway. So we're going to basically learn the shortcuts to these tools up here. The first one I want to go over is the crop tool, which is the one on the far left. And for that one, you press the letter R. This one allows you to change the ratio, the angles, the actual size and the cropping, and all that good stuff. Then you press the letter R when you're done, and whatever changes you made are applied. The next one I want to show you is the letter Q, which is for the spot removal tool right here. Press the letter Q and you'll see this little circle pop up. You see that? Now we can have it in clone mode or heal mode. I like to keep it in heal mode because it seems to be a little bit softer in its blending, a little bit more almost content aware. You can adjust the size, the feathering, and the opacity. And I'm going to show you, let's say I want to take out this can light right here. You can either do a spot or you can click and drag for a whole area. So I do the whole area, and then Lightroom will select a spot to copy from to use as a source to be able to cover up what you selected. So I press Q again to close it, and it did a pretty good job. It doesn't always do a great job, so keep in mind when you do this, you can always move this around so that you're telling Lightroom, hey, no, I want you to use it from over here or from over there. But we're going to press Q and turn that tool off. The next one I want to go over is the gradient filter, and this is probably one of my favorites. If you press the letter M, then this menu pops up and you'll see the little gradient filter lights up as well. And here you can choose a brush. Now there are some default brushes in Lightroom. I have my architectural brushes right here, and I use it a lot to adjust the light temperatures. So if I select cooler light, let's say for example, I notice that this bottom right corner is a little warmer than this left side. So I'm going to take my gradient filter and click and drag and apply. And then when I'm done, I press M and it applies my changes and I'm all done. So M is for the gradient filter. Now if I want to do just an area, say I want to do this area right here, I can do the radial filter by pressing Shift and M together. You'll see this little cross show up. You click and drag, and that will give you the area. Now you might be wondering why it's applying the changes to everything outside. Well, you can invert that pretty easily. And then you adjust it, do what you need to do, and when you're done, you press Shift M one more time and it'll close it. And finally, I want to show you the adjustment brush. And for that one, you press the letter K. You press K and this brush pops up. You can adjust the size by dragging up or down with your mouse or on the trackpad. And then you click and drag to apply whatever effect you have it set to. And you can change that on the fly, just like that. When you're done, you press the letter K again, and changes are applied. Now there is one more that I want to show you, and this is actually not one that I ever actually use, but I have pressed this by accident and wondered what the heck did I just do? So to save you some time, I want to show you what the shortcut is. If you press the letter V, V as in Victor, you'll see it changes to black and white. Now you'll see up here in profile, it'll go from monochrome to color, and this is by pressing the letter V. To be honest, I think I pressed it because I was in Photoshop mindset and I pressed V to go to the select tool and then realized I'm in Lightroom, not Photoshop. But just in case that happens to you and you're just as absent-minded as I am, now you know. So that covers all the tools I want to go over for Lightroom. Let's hop over to Photoshop. Now I have here in Photoshop a layered image that's going to be eventually made into a final photo. Now I'm not going to go over how to edit this, how to put it together, but I do want to show you the shortcuts to some of the basic tools that I use repeatedly when editing interiors. These are mostly for either blending layers or doing retouching. Now, the first thing I want to show you is how to do the layer mask to get you going. Now, say for example, I have my base layer right here, and then I have two other layers that I want to apply to some extent. But I don't want to apply all of it, I want to blend it. So I'm going to turn that layer on, select the layer on top, and then press Option and the Add Layer Mask icon. And you'll see this black box appear. This is your layer mask, but it's been blacked out. It's basically been put in reverse. So that means that the layer is there, it's just all been covered. And then when you brush over top of it, you uncover the parts that you want to show through. So again, to apply this, you have your top layer selected, you press Option and Add Layer Mask. And I believe on a PC, Option key is Alt. So I believe it's Alt, Add Layer Mask. On a Mac, it's Option. So once you have this, then you're going to be using the brush tool. Now the brush tool is over here, it's a little paintbrush, but to not have to go over there, you press the letter B as in boy, and there is your brush. Now you can adjust it with the brackets to the right and left, you adjust the size. And now we see here that our color swatches are flipped. We really want it to be on the white, and we can do that by clicking on this little arrow here. So we want it to be on the white because if it's on the white, it'll paint white over the black layer mask, which means it will reveal. So if we paint white here, we'll see it gets a little brighter. This is uncovering that top layer. But if we want to switch the swatches and we don't want to have to click over here, you press the letter X and you'll see that they switch back and forth. So you switch it so that you have the one you need on top. This is really great when you're brushing on and then taking some away and then brushing some on again. You don't want to have to keep clicking back over on the side. You just press the letter X, switch the swatch, brush on or off what you need, press the letter X, and then go back into your other mode. So now that we have the layers blended how we want, let's say we have this blended, we do some there, we'll do the same thing up here, select that, Option, Layer Mask, and then brush, we'll do the window area here. And you can see that you have little sections of each layer, each top layer that's been painted on there. Let's say you need to take these outlets away. My favorite tool to use for that is the patch tool, and you can access that with the letter J. You press the letter J, there's the patch tool right there. And I love this because it is content aware, it blends pretty well, and it just does a really great job of kind of doing some of the work for me. Oh. So there we go. Oh, I know what it's doing. I was like, why is it not doing that? Okay, I have to be on the layer that I need to do this to. So I'm on the correct layer now. I apply my patch tool and there we go. Sorry about that, guys. So, I see a little bit of the edges there and I would go in with the stamp tool. So this is with clone, letter J. I clone this out. I'm going to show you again what I did. So I'm on the layer that has this content. I freehand select around it, And then you'll see that this little arrow appears. That means you click and drag and you go to whatever you want to use as the source. And I kind of align the seams so that it looks spot on, and I release and then click anywhere outside and it will deselect. Now I do see some edges here, so I would want to use the stamp or clone tool. Again, to not click over to the side, I press the letter S, and now I'm in stamp mode. And so you have your adjustments up here and whatnot. You do what you need to do, and you make your adjustments. Well, I think it just made it worse. So stamp tool, letter S. And let's see, there's two more I want to show you. One more is the lasso tool. So let's say, for example, well, let's just say we're taking out this outlet. If you want to use the lasso tool to select, you absolutely can do that. The lasso tool is up here, third from the top, but you can press the letter L. And I like to keep it on the polygon lasso. That to me is just the most comfortable to use. And then that's how you make your selection. And you can right click, deselect, but L is for lasso. We're going to go back to our select tool by pressing V. And the final one I want to show you is the gradient filter. And this one I use for TVs. We don't have a TV here, but if we're doing a TV, let's say this window is a TV. I would first lasso it. Actually, let's do this cabinet door as a TV. We're gonna L for lasso, select our TV edges, and I'm gonna get creative here, so just go with me. So this is our TV, our pretend TV for today. We have the edges lassoed, and then we're gonna press G for gradient. And I have up here a gradient, and then I selected the swatches, and for the swatches I use two tones of very dark gray. So this one's the darkest, it's pretty much black, and then this other one is more of like a light charcoal. And you go from outside of the lasso in a diagonal to outside. What this is great for is TV screens. You don't want to fill them in with a solid black because that just ends up looking very fake. If you do a gradient, it'll look a little bit better. So go from like an almost black to a light charcoal. So G for gradient. And I'm going to go back to lasso to deselect. So if that were our TV, there we go. We just cleaned up the TV. I believe that is all the tools that I went over on the cheat sheet. So I hope that this has been helpful for you guys. I hope that it clears up what tools are the most common and how you can access them quicker. If you have any questions on this, my door is always open. Thank you so much for being an insider for the Grove. I can't wait to talk to you again soon. If you have any questions, if you have any content requests, anything at all, please feel free to email me, DM me. I'm available on Instagram, and there's contact info on the website. Thank you so much, guys, and have a great day.